Hello and welcome to Baby That's Cont, Traitors Edition. This week we're talking Season 4, Episode 9, Think Outside the Box. I'm Kip.
And I'm Joseph. Let's get into it. So,
Well,
this week's
yes.
episode. Yes, this week's episode opens with where we last left off, which was Eric being recruited by Rob to become a traitor or die. I've never seen anyone look more gagged about anything in their life than Eric finding out it's Rob.
It was kind of nuts and cute and troubling.
Yes, it was giving. I can't think of the word. Foreshadowing of what's to come.
Yes. We'll
Which
just say this
is,
episode does not make me think Eric is the world's brightest bulb.
well, maybe he's just not the most traitorous traitor.
We'll
So,
see.
essentially, Eric says, "Yes, I'll be a traitor." There really wasn't much going on here. Rob tells him that they're going to have to kill tonight, and Eric says, "We're killing tonight," and Rob says, "Yeah, we have to. It's like our job."
This was a really fun episode for Rob Stand because he looked the hottest he's looked this whole season out front in the robe to me. And then we get to see him kind of be like a traitor Sherpa to Eric. Like he's being daddy, he's
It
teaching his
was.
son how to play the game. Yeah, it's kind of our job. Like it was really fun as a Rob fan.
I really enjoyed, like, Eric put the hood on and it was like all covering his face, he couldn't see, and then Rob had to like go and adjust it for him. It was really cute.
Oh my god. And then this is not a spoiler for later in the ep. Later on, they're leaving the turret and Eric uh Rob goes, "You look like Harry Potter." And Eric goes, "Yeah, but the Slytherin one."
Yeah.
So cute and so lame.
I thought that was really funny. Well, famously Harry was almost in Slytherin.
That's true. And not everyone who was in Slytherin went bad at the
So
end.
true. Yes. Well, before we get canceled, Rob and Eric go up to the turret, and Rob
I want
says,
Rob to slither inside of me.
and there it is. I'll let him know.
Somebody needs to.
Yes. So Rob says, "We are equals. Let's stick together and make it to the end." I think he's full of shit.
I think that it'll be interesting. Eric should be asking Rob questions about what happened because I think if he explained again that like Candace never tried to play with him, that would be make sense. But Rob did in that first opening scene call himself the traitor hunter to Eric. So it is not looking good for Eric.
Yeah. Eric says in the confessional that he's afraid of Rob turning on him, which, like, smartest thing he
He's like
said
he
all
says he
season.
calls that his only concern, which is like a big one.
Yeah.
It's
But as we come to
like
find
buying a
out,
house. It's like my only concern is the house might fall down. It's like, well, that's real.
well, maybe. Okay, so Rob says Johnny's the top person on everybody's radar, and that for Up for Murder tonight, their best choices are Natalie, Dorinda, and Steven.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a lot of thought on this one, except for I really would think it would be fun if they were to push the all housewives traitor narrative.
Yeah,
I just think that's so hard for people to let go. It's like such a fun, like, it would be such a good TV idea that I feel like it's an easy sell. So I think they should keep
yeah.
Dorinda.
Hmm. Um, I agree. Like she has been like kind of fun TV. She's done nothing. Like no one is suspicious of her. She is suspicious of no one. Like she just exists as a number. So letting her go, I think it makes sense because Natalie both is suspicious and B has been wrong about a lot of people. So she's a good one to keep in the mix to keep chaos going. And then Steven, like, there's been little moments with Steven, like the Lisa Gold thing. Like, Steven has come up here and there throughout. And so I think Dorinda is the logical choice, given that, like, I didn't see, and maybe I was wrong, but I didn't see that killing Natalie or Steven would pin it on someone, which would be the goal, I
Yeah.
think.
But then Dorinda gets pinned on someone.
Well, I don't know. My point is, like, I don't think it was obvious who would get Dorinda because she was the last housewife.
Yeah. I just think if you're going to that final fire, whatever they call it, like, do you want to have Natalie and Steven there or do you want to have Dorinda? And I think you want to have Dorinda.
Well, that's a good point, especially if you're Rob because she loved
Yeah.
him. Yeah, that's a good point. They do say so. They say like a Johnny's number one, so they shouldn't kill him. But then number two, like they do say like Natalie needs to go soon.
Yeah, tonight or tomorrow night, Eric says.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So, breakfast?
Last thing, it was so funny. So Eric gets in the turret, and he's still so freaked out, and you can kind of tell this is not like yet clicking for him. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. He whispers, and it's like I feel like if people are listening, I was like, you get used to it. It was so fun and cute and funny and crazy.
Yeah. Eric is giving like little kid energy.
Yes, and he's 37 years old, but he does look 15.
Yeah. And some would say acting like it. And I
Some
didn't
would.
mean that in a mean way.
No, he was acting cute and a little immature this
Yes.
episode, which is fine.
Childlike wonder.
Yeah. Oh, say that.
Okay, so breakfast, Kristen, Mark, and Rob are the first group in. I love Kristen's suit. It's not my favorite sweater vest for Rob.
I know. You can tell well, anyways, he obviously wanted to show off his arms, but I think he should have just gone with basic tank tops.
Yeah. But probably he did that because it's cold. And I feel like it's been trending, like wearing a knit sweater vest online. So I think he was trying.
It probably also was like given to him by production. I
That's
don't think
shady.
at home. I don't think at home he would have that like brown argyle sleeveless sweater vest.
Yeah, who wears Argyle?
Yeah, I mean, I of course used to.
Brave of you to say.
I had a cute argyle sweater that, like, when I worked at Nordstrom, would work well.
That was 20 years ago.
It wasn't 20, but it was more than 10.
So, okay. Well, as soon as they get into breakfast, they're like, we have to talk. So Mark says that there had to be a recruitment if there was only one traitor left. And they all are basically onto Johnny. So Mark says, if Johnny had to recruit, who would it be? Rob says Tara, and they both agree with him.
Yeah.
I do think that is true. If Johnny was the traitor, he would recruit Tara. So it's hard to find a flaw in their logic because that does feel like that's what would have happened.
Yeah. Okay, something we have to talk about. I wasn't sure when, because this episode included a lot, but now feels like a good time. This episode was so weird with the Tara and Johnny of it all because it seemed like they were like not playing together and it seemed like nobody really knew they knew each other. But then this episode, like they later on like just sort of come out with it. But before that, players are talking about it like they did know. And so it felt like this whole time everyone has known they're good friends, but we're not allowed to talk about it in the edit. And then this episode, it all just like their cover was blown. Did you notice this?
Yeah, it was a little weird. I think maybe people thought like they might know each other, but didn't realize they were like super best friends. Like how a
Yeah.
survivor player might know another survivor player, but if they weren't on the same season, like they probably don't really interact much, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And you never know how online people are, but like the Johnny Weir, Tara Lipinski like Olympic commentary clips have gone viral for being so funny and crazy like many times.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, as of right now, nobody knows they're co-conspirators officially.
Well, but that's my point, right? Is so like Rob says like Tara, Johnny. Everyone's like, yeah, that makes sense. But it's not clear why they think that makes sense.
The only thing they said in the episode is like people were saying that they always vote together.
Yeah.
Um, because there's a confessional where Johnny says something like, "I'm tired of feeling so alone here when my best friend is right there. Like, why shouldn't we like lean on each other?"
Yeah.
So maybe they're just, I don't know, being
Well,
way
it's also
too
funny. It's
weird
like a
about it.
decision that like they made. And also, other people have made friends on the cast, right? It's like you could
Yeah,
pretend you know each other and then just like, oh, we actually get along.
yeah. I guess like if you're gonna lie, you might as well keep lying your way through the rest of it in a different way, you know?
I guess, but it's like, given that it's a game of deception and that there's so little to go off of, it was just like, it's dumb. It's dumb. But there was this funny moment where, and I actually thought it was like, A, I think he meant it as a joke, but B, I think it's somewhat true, is Johnny was like, we didn't spend our childhoods playing games. We spent it training for the Olympics, which I do
Yeah,
think is
which
probably true.
is also very funny to say.
Yeah, it is funny. He's like, you dumbasses, you're good at
Like,
this. Where's your
oh,
medal?
you were at the Olympic Games?
100%.
Huh.
So, anyways, weird thing that comes up throughout the episode.
Yeah. I will say whether the strategy worked or not, I don't know, but they are still there, which I think means something's working.
It's interesting because you could make it to the final of this game and play a horrible game, and you could be voted out like third and have played a good game. And so it's just an
But
interesting way
then,
to measure.
yeah, it's like, was it really good if you were voted? I think if you get voted out, you didn't play a good game. But if you got murdered, it's kind of gray area.
It just depends. Like, I think Candace played a good game. I think she just, I don't think she played a great game. I think she played a good game.
Yeah, well, she certainly played better than Monet.
And Lisa.
Yes. Okay, well, we got to keep it moving. So, Miss Mara and Johnny enter. I
I
do
love
love both of
Laura.
their outfits. Mara's giving sexy Madeline, and Johnny's giving shag rug.
I have a similar rug downstairs.
Like,
It looks nice in person.
complimentary. Yeah, I still liked
Yes.
the outfit, but it was
Yes.
giving rug.
I agree.
Johnny knows that he looks suspicious, and he's telling the group that he feels used and like an idiot because of him being besties with Candace, who was just eliminated as a traitor. Mara has an interesting conversation with Rob where she says, I thought it would be you to Rob because Candace voted for you. And Rob says, I think she was doing that to help the other traitors that are still left. And I don't think it worked at all. And then she's like,
That's what's unclear is yes, she makes that face and she goes, right. And that's kind of it.
oh, she says, noted. Or maybe that's
Yeah.
later, but I did write that in my notes.
She gives a one word response that is
Yeah.
either like, okay, great, I can move on from this because I love Rob and I don't want to worry about him, or it will come up later.
Well, I think the implication would be if Candace was like leaving his name like that, then the traitor should have murdered him. So she's like, then why are you still here?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It is looking like Rob is going to win this game, like, easily.
I know. And it's like, I think he's doing pretty well. I just can't believe that they're not getting him. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
He's doing well. A different group of people would have picked up on some things. But he's playing a great game. But, like,
Here's
it's
what
not been
I think is happening.
perfect.
I think if you're smart, which I think Steven, possibly Natalie, are, and honestly, I think Mara too, I think they know it's Rob and they're just trying to knock it out at this point and wait till the end.
Yeah. Well, they are right if that's true because, like, A, he has the dagger. So that's 2 votes, and we're now down to very few people. So that really
Yeah.
matters. B, almost, or nobody suspects him. His name has not come up in a serious way once, really. Um, and so it would take a lot to, like, spin all of that. And yeah, I think you're right, potentially.
Yeah. I
Like,
think
there
at
is
this
a,
point, you have to hold your cards close to your chest or else you're gone so fast.
yeah. Yeah, I do think there is a chance that at, we'll just call it Final Fire, that at Final Fire, someone really comes for him.
Yeah. Which would be great TV. And I hope we get to
It would
see.
be great TV. I know. I know. This has really been a fun season for me. I have enjoyed it. We haven't quite gotten to see like a strategic masterpiece gameplay work out
Yeah.
the way that like Suri did in her season. It would be fun if Natalie could do something like that, and I agree with you.
It's like such a long con. Like, that would be amazing.
I know, I know. It makes
I
me
want
think
her
like
to
I think
so
I'd
bad.
have I know. I think I'd have fun and I'd be good at it, but I don't know. I wouldn't expect to make it to the end.
I think just statistically, it's unlikely because you could just get murdered for random reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that part, how to not get murdered.
Yeah.
But that's how the game works. So,
And how the cookie crumbles.
indubitably. So, speaking of, Natalie and Steven come in, which means Miss Dorinda is murdered. So then we flash back to the turret. We see them deciding. Rob says that she trusts him so much, which basically makes, I think it takes the heat off of Rob, like, to kill your bestie, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, also at breakfast, Eric was acting really weird. Um like he's
yeah,
been kind of pretty cool all season. And then when it's like the final three of who's gonna get murdered, he goes, "Oh my god, I'm so nervous," and it just was like really overacted in a way that like not good.
yeah. I don't know if we're getting more. airtime of Rob this episode, but I feel like Rob also was doing some overacting, overplaying, which I can point out when we get there. But
Okay,
at
please.
breakfast, Eric looked like he was going to throw up all over that table.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really suspicious, for sure.
Yeah. So um, Rob is like, oh man, I can't believe it's Dorinda. And then I can't remember who it was, but they were like, Dorinda was like your wifey. And I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. So Alan comes in and he said, protect the dolls with
Okay,
his
I saw
hair.
someone said it was giving trans flag. Someone else said it was giving gender reveal.
Well, what's the gender?
It.
Yes.
Did we already Dorinda's confessional where she reads her murder letter? She reads it in her horrible Irish accent.
Yeah, that was funny. You've been murdered.
It was giving me.
Yes. I mean, R.I.P. Dorinda. She did make it pretty far,
She did, and she's happy about it.
and some would call that playing a great game.
Someone, yes.
So Alan throws her photo on the ground and says, "Dorinda, the traitors did rescind ya."
That was so funny. I wrote that down too.
I think he's
It was
getting
really
better and
good.
better with these.
They probably got him a writer.
Yeah. Although I do think Jam Jam is toast is like I don't know if that could be topped for me.
I agree.
Especially given the breakfast theme of it all.
Yes. That's really funny. I forgot.
Yes. So Alan tells them they're going to have to think outside of the box for the challenge. He leaves. Steven says he did not expect to be at breakfast this morning and that his bags were already packed. And Natalie is not buying 1 ounce of that.
I thought it was weird too.
I just feel like that's what people always say. Like Dorinda says that every single morning.
They always say it, but like the bags packed thing, I could say like I was nervous I was going to get murdered because blah blah blah. But I felt like out of nowhere he was laying it on thick in just a weird way.
Yeah, I think it's just like a saying. Like I don't think he really packed his bags, but maybe she interpreted it as literally.
Yeah, but to your point, if he was a traitor, if he had actually packed his bags, it proves he is faithful.
That's a lot of work to do if you're not really going home.
Well, that's something to think about for you. I packed
Yeah.
my bags.
On the show, the challenge, every time you're up for elimination, you do have to pack your bags before they go
Oh
to
my
like the
god.
final battle it out challenge. So if you're up for elimination all the time, you have to keep packing and unpacking your bags.
I think they do that on Love Island too. Like there's other shows where they do that too. It's really funny.
It's so crazy.
It is
Okay,
crazy.
anyways. Okay, one thing is I forgot to say this. If someone came into breakfast and they were like, "Oh man, I really thought I was gonna get murdered," and that's your bestie, I know I would just say like, "Girl, I wasn't gonna do that to you," and then I would lose.
Oh my god, I know.
That would be
For me
my
to do well in
one
the
time to slip.
for me to do well in the game, I would need to not make friends with people, I think. If I was a traitor.
Yeah, I just
Or
feel like
probably if I
that
was a
really
faithful
would get
too, because
me.
I'm an open book.
Yeah. Well, as Alan says later in the episode, I don't know if I can find it quickly enough. We'll call back to this.
Okay.
Okay. So Steven is very on to Johnny, and he's sharing that with Mark and Eric. And then we get the Johnny and Tara moment where we really see them interacting closely, I think, for one of the first times. And
Mm-hmm.
Tara says that she defended him to Mara and Natalie the night before. We get that fun Johnny quote about not playing games. They were at the Olympics. Brag. And he tells Tara that as soon as he told Candace they were on to her, she immediately went to chat with Steven, which is like the main accusation, I guess, of the episode. So then we cut to Rob literally laying on the couch, armpits out.
He is giving like so comfortable. That's where like I think he has an opportunity for someone to get him. He is so sure he's fine.
Yeah, that's
And
what I
like
wrote too.
why would the traitors be letting him be this?
Yeah, I wrote he's acting like too chill. It's like too much. Because then Eric is there sitting there like he's about to puke all over everybody. And even Mara is like, everybody I feel like in this episode is on edge and is giving like excited, gagged reactions to everything. And he's just like so mellow the whole time.
Yeah, I mean he has been that way the whole game, which is I think people just assume it's how he is, but it's still like a little too yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So then we see Tara and Kristen. Tara says that she really trusts Kristen, and she says that she thinks it's Steven. Kristen says, I don't think so, honey. And Tara says, well, who do you think it is? You can tell me. And Kristen says, well, you.
Can
uh,
you imagine
she,
if someone said that to you? And if it's not true.
it's really funny. She says it's because Tara is always acting so scared and nervous all the time,
Yeah.
which apparently some traders do act like.
Yes.
But we know it's not Tara.
I just also think what's so interesting is like these are all celebrities. I know they're not all like rich, but like anyways, they don't need this game. So it's just interesting to me that like they can't relax and have fun with it because like it doesn't really matter. They're getting an appearance fee. Yes, they like win some more money if they win, but like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did like about Bob and Monet is I feel like they were there to have fun and they didn't take
Yes.
it so seriously.
Yes.
And
I know. Fatal flaw, turns out.
I don't know if Rob is taking it so seriously. I think he's having fun.
Definitely.
But yeah, the other people are just so nervous about it.
Yeah, it's tough because Rob has had like played a good game but had such an easy ride. Um like if he got if it turned on him and he got voted out, I wonder how stressed he'd be during that period. But he definitely is having fun.
Yeah. I think also just the anxiety of maybe getting murdered every night probably sucks.
Yeah.
So I can see why they would be rattled at this point in the game, which is why it's so weird that he's not.
Yeah.
Well, I really hope Kristen wins. I love her.
I hope Rob wins. I love him, but I love Kristen too.
Yeah, I would love for her to get him because it sounds like things are really clocking to her this episode.
The thing is, at this point, these people have been wrong so much that it's like, yes, she is clocking something, but it just feels like to me at this point, like broken clock twice a day.
Yeah, I mean, when there's two traitors left out of like six other people.
I know. And I do think Kristen is smart. It's a hard game, but like, I don't know. I don't give her credit for getting like one thing right.
Yeah, I just don't think she's reading into like stupid, nonsensical things. So I feel like in that way, she's doing the right things.
Yeah. No, I agree. But then it's also like, to your point about her, anyways, she was wrong. She's wrong about Tara, like right there, and then is right later on about one thing. But it's like, do you know what I'm saying
Yeah.
here?
I mean, I'm just saying she did pick a traitor tell out. It just was the wrong person. But then
Yeah,
you know what? She recalibrates.
say that.
Okay,
And then
so
it's so funny
now
too that Tara. Oh, this is probably what you're gonna say next, but
no, go
Tara,
ahead.
that we cut to Tara's confessional, and she goes like, "Well, I really trust Kristen, and if Kristen thinks it's me, I must need a new game plan."
You're like, oh my god, is it me?
She's like, "I thought I felt something on my shoulder, but I thought they would tell me."
Right? That would be funny.
I
They have
know.
to go tell them again.
Well, some of these idiots, it feels possible.
Wait, oh well, yeah. Okay. So on the way to the challenge, Johnny says he heard Mara say his name to Mara, and she is gagged at that. She was like,
we
me? And
sh-
he was like, yes, you, bitch.
we should explain to the watchers, readers, listeners that I've been calling her Moira this whole time, and I typed Moira to you today, and you wrote back, "You know her name is Mara, right?" And it was because I'd sent you a clip she posted. It
Yes.
was so funny. It was the clip of like saying everyone wants to drink Rob's bathwater, and then she's like in a bathtub going like, but it literally says Moira Higgins on it, as I said to you, typing Moira.
Yes.
That's just how I am as a person.
Yes. And if you could pick one word to describe that, which word would you pick?
Um, Overstimulated.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Okay. I thought it was odd, but that was the only car scene that we get.
I know.
Must have been nothing going on up there in those heads, the other heads. Or it was a secret storylines we're not supposed to know yet.
That is possible too.
Probably that one. All of Kristen's eliminated storylines. Okay. So the game, which I don't have a fun name for, but I will affectionately call the Jack in the Box game. Alan tells
um,
them, oh, thoughts? Do you have a fun name?
I was gonna try to think of one, but my brain's kind of. It seems like I could be
Honestly,
on the Traitors this season with how my brain's working today.
I think Outside the Box really did nail it. That was a good name.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're gonna literally, well, I don't want to spoil it. We'll get there.
Well,
Okay.
no, it's what's
So
next.
yes. So Alan is standing around giant boxes, one for each player, and then one even more giant box in the middle. He says that everyone's going to have to answer questions on what the traders think. And if they guess correctly, they will win money. So the first twist is that everybody's going to have to sit in a box. And then the traders will have to sneak out of their box each question, confer, and select an answer, then sneak back into their boxes, and then pop up and vote with everybody else. Or not vote, but answer with everybody else.
I kind of I like this game, but also I can't believe they're making them do that.
This pissed me off. Like if I was a trader, I don't want to keep getting in and out of the damn box. Like it's so irritating.
There are some ways where you're a hard worker, and there are some ways where you are the laziest person I've ever met.
It's not even about laziness. It's just like surely this is not the most efficient way to run this game.
Yay.
So that just irritated me. And then theoretically, it's like the people could hear you. And I think that's like a stupid way to possibly find a traitor. So I just really didn't like that.
I agree. And what if I trip and yell "fuck"?
Yeah. Well, then I was gonna say Eric might think you're someone else, which would be a good cover for him, honestly.
Okay, you are so funny sometimes. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Put that in your
Um,
application video and smoke it.
Me, I should be on the Traitors because I'm like so funny.
Well, they need good TV.
Don't we know it? Okay. So, question number one of the game is who is the most helpful to the Traitors? And they pick Terra. They say that they don't want to give the faithfuls any real info, which like, duh. Um,
Yeah.
and I said, wouldn't the faithfuls be stupid to not do the same? Like the whole point of this game is like theoretically to get information, but like neither side should want to give the other side information.
Yeah. I think
So
that the traders know that, and I think that the faithfuls are dumb.
yeah, I think everybody should be doing throw votes, but it seems like they're not doing that. I guess as a faithful, you don't want to look like you're doing that. I don't know. Didn't make sense to me. So
Well, it's just like the traders have a clear strategist and a clear strategy, and the faithfuls don't know who is who, so they can't be united and they can't come up with one. Um, but this was another cute part where, and this is where we really see that Eric is going to be a horrible traitor because he doesn't have any ideas for Rob to talk through. He's like, I don't know what to do. And Rob's like, okay, I got it. Let's do this. And like, I do think Rob was giving real good ideas and B wasn't trying to screw Eric over. Like, I don't think he is yet being shady to him. But it is just like, Eric, you're a grown man with a brain. Like, can you use it a little?
I agree mostly. I do think to be fair to Eric, Rob's been thinking these strategies the whole season, and Eric is only just now having to like do that part of the strategy.
That's
So
true, but it's crazy to me he didn't even have one like, what about this?
yeah. Well, some people are better traders than others.
Yes.
So this is where I wrote, I think Rob had really bad acting. Like when he pops out of the box and he's like showing his answer and he's like looking around, I feel like everybody else is giving absolute Gagatron and he's just like, huh, like that doesn't match to me. It doesn't align properly.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Eric also is
I
bad acting too, I think.
yeah. I noticed Eric's more than Rob's for whatever reason.
Eric's was just giving like, I'm like, what are you doing?
I think Eric's biggest problem it seems like he doesn't remember how he was being before. It
Yeah.
seems like that's totally forgotten and now he's like, okay, I have to be how a faithful should act instead of just acting how he was acting.
I think, yeah, if you go in as a faithful or a traitor, you have to know how you want to be perceived. And you have to, like, put on some level of an act, regardless of which role you're on.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it, anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, so question number two is who do the traitors think is the most manipulative? Um, Rob says if we pick the same name every time, that won't give them any info, which I think is smart. But I wrote in my notes, like, do you think this is better than just randomly picking people?
I think it's the safer strategy because ultimately you're giving them nothing and therefore no one can find anything in it. I think if you go random, like you're trusting yourself not to make a mistake or for someone to make a connection. And so going random, I think, carried a little bit more risk. But I think either one would have worked.
Yeah, I think because random is like could possibly sow more chaos, but I guess you want to have more controlled chaos and keep it away from you. So maybe one
Yeah.
person is the right move.
Yeah. But the other
So
thing is like you just have no idea how everyone's interpreting the question, like who is more useful, the most useful to the traders. It's like they could pick a trader, and if you think it depends if you think that's likely or not. But I just, as a trader, the safest thing to do is just like keep it totally away from you.
yeah, it's like sometimes I have to remember not everybody is operating on the level that I think everyone's operating on, and you
Yes,
have to
a
plan
lesson
for
we
that.
learn often.
Yes. So 6 people vote for Natalie, which is kind of iconic. um, Tara comes up, she sees her name. Rob looks around and he just says, "Damn." But everybody else is like gagging hard. And I'm just like, you gotta play it up. But,
Yeah.
it is working for him, allegedly.
Well, it is how he's been the whole game. So if he changes that up too much, it's gonna look weird the way it is for Eric. But we'll see. You may be right.
Yeah. Then question 3 is, who do the traders think don't deserve a place in the final? Which I
This
felt
is
really
like the
bad for Tara.
meanest question.
It really is. Should have
Well,
been, who did they not want to see in the final? Or like,
yeah.
deserve is crazy.
Deserve is crazy. And I think they did a good job by like doing the Terra thing 3 times because then she can not take it so personally. It was obviously a strategy. Imagine if
Yeah.
they had just like actually picked who they thought it was, and like, anyways, that would have been
Who,
devastating.
who would you think it is?
Who doesn't deserve it the most? Oh my god.
Based on what we've seen, because we can only talk about what we've been shown.
Yeah. Like honestly, Eric. Like ignoring this
Yeah.
episode, Eric's been wrong about so many things. And like the footsteps thing, the voice thing, the handwriting thing. Like Eric does not know how, like, Eric is not getting this game and has played horribly, and he does not deserve to be in the final.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think that is the thing. The only other person I could say is I feel like Mark hasn't really had anything going on.
Yeah, the only thing we know is like Kristen said, we know from outside of the game that Kristen said she and Mark had a strategy, had a lot of good things that were not in the show, which, based on what we have seen, it feels like a tiny bit hard to believe. But it's kind of like when you lose a tennis match and you're like, but I was the better player. It's like, well, were you?
Yeah, not when it mattered.
Yes, something we can all relate to. Or I'll speak for
Yeah,
myself.
sure. Um, Kristen says Tara is either running a master class right now or she is completely oblivious to what is going on. And as
Yes.
we know, it's the latter, unfortunately.
It's so sad and funny.
Yeah. So, question 4, who do the traders think would make the best trader? Like, I don't understand that question. This feels like it should have happened before they recruited.
Yeah.
Then people would be thinking, like, who are they going to pick?
Yeah. I agree.
Natalie says
But then
everybody should just vote Tara. And then, iconically, they all do, except for Tara and Johnny.
this was so iconic. And it does not help their case for people being suspicious of them.
Yeah, I don't know if they just didn't hear because they were both like on the ends, I think. And Natalie was more in the
Yeah.
middle. But I do feel like it would have been clocking to me that it's just Tara every time. And it's like, that's a good strategy to win the money, is if it's
Yes,
clear what they're going to pick every time.
I agree.
Um, I understand Tara not wanting to vote for herself on like a pride level, but Johnny should have caught on to that.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I wouldn't vote for myself because you're only winning $500, so it's just like fuck you guys. But um, everyone else,
Yeah. So apparently this was clocking to Mara, and in the confessional she talks about it, and she's like, "Noted," which I loved.
yeah. Oh my god.
I love this show. It's making my Scottish accent get better.
Oh, that's good.
How's
By the time
yours?
you go, oh, terrible. I was talking about it with my barber who used to be an actor and is now a barber. And anyways, accent work is hard, and he wasn't surprised to hear that it often goes a way that it's not supposed to go.
That it goes Jamaican.
Yes, it was funny
Yes.
too because he's in his 40s now, and he did like Broadway stuff, but like in his 20s and early 30s. And anyways, casting back then was very different, and so he was laughing about how he, as like a white person, used to be cast in roles that now would never go to a white person, and it was a very fun little combo.
I see. So, the twist of this game is the traitors are going to be asked who they want to shortlist for murder tonight, and 4 people are going to be up for murder and stuck in the boxes.
I did
So
not see this
Rob
coming.
says they think they're smart, but we're going to outsmart them. They're going to assume there's at least one traitor in the boxes, but we're not going to do that. So they settle on Natalie, Tara, Kristen, and Johnny. And then they get back in the boxes, and once it's revealed, Rob immediately leans over to Steven and says, "Do you think Johnny did it to himself?" This is a classic Candace gameplay strategy.
I agree, but I do think they were right to not put what a traitor in the box. I would have assumed they would do that too.
I just feel like statistically, like, or from a logic perspective, it you can't assume either way. Like, you basically have to take that out of the equation because you just don't
Yeah,
know. And it just feels, I don't know. It always goes wrong, I feel like, when they try to do that.
I agree.
Like, they basically always eliminate all those people, seems like, in seasons
Yeah.
past.
No, I
But
agree with that.
anyways, we move on to the cars, back to the castle. Mara says she's convinced it's Johnny now to Rob and Eric. Um, Johnny's absolutely livid when he sees that Tara is also in the box with him. And they're in the car right back home. And Natalie says, like, do you think they put a traitor in the boxes? And she says she doesn't think so anymore, to the car. And in confessional, she says Johnny's giving defeated faithful energy, which is kind of
That was
sad to
interesting to
see.
me. I know. I thought that was a good insight because you could totally see it, but I did think it was a good idea for them to pick Johnny, given all that.
Yeah, it's sad, but the strategy really is like push people till they crack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they get back to the castle. They're walking in together, and Tara says to him, "We're in it together, baby girl."
Oh my god, it was so cute. Also, who was
So
it who said
cute.
they really had to pee?
Steven.
Yeah,
I was
so
like, we could
funny.
have cut that. That didn't need to make it to the episode.
Well, that's why I wouldn't be on the game because they would have to cut me saying that 75 times.
Yes. We wouldn't be able to get through the scene.
Viewers, I usually pee at least once during the podcast, but so far, no.
Amazing work.
I'm hanging in there.
So professional. So it
Well,
seems
kind of,
like
sort of.
everybody, well, yes. The things that I could tell you, viewers. Okay. Although you could probably see for yourself. Okay. So everybody is apparently gagged that Johnny and Tara are like close now. Natalie is talking to Rob and Mark. Kristen comes in. Natalie says that she thinks she's going to be murdered, as she always does. Says that Steven is going back and forth between being genuine and fake. And then also, what about those coins from the Hill Challenge?
Yeah. The only thing I have to say about all of this, I feel like Tara and Johnny, it's just like a mistake. They just played poorly. But like they're just gonna get this pinned on them now for like lying. Like, you've been lying to us the whole game. So it's like, how can we trust you? It's just not gonna work out for them.
I think we should wait and see.
Well, we will wait and see, but I would be shocked if I was wrong.
Yes. Okay. So Rob says it's smart to go for Steven tonight and then Johnny tomorrow, which I agree. Like a 1-2 shot.
Yeah, and then
Kristen.
they'll kill Natalie.
Yeah. Kristen says she told Tara that she didn't trust her, and now she's up for murder, which does look suspicious, however, very obvious. But I guess nobody else knows that. So I do feel like that is a good data point for Kristen, even though it is incorrect.
Yeah.
Tara and Johnny are talking, and she basically says it's time to come out of the closet as besties.
So funny.
I think this is smart because if Johnny's truly up for elimination, putting more suspicion onto her could split votes off of him to keep him for another night.
Yeah. I just think there is a chance that like production picked Johnny and Tara as traitors, given that they're friends and the Olympic skating thing, all of that. I don't know. I just don't see a way out of it for them.
Well, it is compelling, but also we have to remember they all think that the second traitor now is recruited. So seems unlikely that they would have both been picked from the start. But it is a fun narrative.
Well, they're assuming that. I mean, it is for sure true, given they've gotten rid of 3 traitors, but like they don't know for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there could have been another recruitment that then got kicked, but whatever.
Right.
So we're getting to the round table. Eric, before he goes in, says he's very nervous, but his strategy is the same: to be quiet unless you have something impactful to say, which is a good strategy, I think, in general. Steven says, girl, we about to get our 3rd traitor in a row. It really makes you think on that one.
Yes.
Alan gives a whole historical monologue, which I didn't love because I famously don't like history. And
Me neither.
here's the quote. He says, "We have to distrust each other. It is our only defense against betrayal," which is what I've been saying every episode of this podcast. You cannot trust anyone ever. So glad it's clocking to someone.
Yes.
Tara opens up the table. Very brave and bold. She says, "I'm a faithful and Johnny is also a faithful." And Maura immediately says, "You can't make that promise about him. Because how would you know?" And then Johnny literally says, "Here's the thing. We're besties. We come from Olympian backgrounds." It basically sounds like he's saying we've trauma bonded without, in so many words. And that we would be able to know with each other. And Mark says, "Well, in my sport, we also have partners. And I wouldn't trust them if they were in this game with me."
That was good.
Yeah. And they're immediately like, "Well, I would trust him with my life."
I know. Johnny was like, we've been through divorce, we've been through fertility struggles. Which, well, anyways, It was just funny because anyways, he just named two things in a way that like I was expecting him to name like five.
Yes. Well, those are big things.
I know, but like you know what I'm saying here.
Yeah. So they kind of let it go for a moment. Johnny or no, Mark says like if you're faithful, then like prove it to us, which I thought was kind of annoying. And Johnny says like I am a faithful. This is how I act. I've always been honest. Like I just am playing like as me. And he says Steven is the one that I think it is based on the Candace chat theory, which was after he told her they're on to her. She went to immediately chat with Steven, and it looked like a traitor warning another traitor. Steven responds well, and then he ends with like, "I understand the argument, but I think it's weak," which is kind of iconic to say.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Kristen throws out
Steven's good
Tara.
at this game.
Well, to some, some could argue playing a bad game. So Kristen says, Tara, the day I tell you I don't trust you, I'm up for murder. What about that? And she says, my antennas go up on the both of you because now we know you're attached. Which, love that. Love her. Mark says Candace pushed for Johnny to go to the museum, which really sealed it for him. And Johnny was like, yeah, I probably would have told her who got the shield because I'm honest and that's my friend. That doesn't mean that I'm a traitor just because I'm a good friend. Mark also says, well, you and Tara didn't vote Tara in the game. And Johnny says, just because I'm a bad player at the game doesn't make me a traitor.
I am loving them just owning that they suck at this. It's fun and
Yeah,
funny.
it is kind of funny. Natalie says she's a 25% chance of being gone tomorrow and brings up the gold in the basket for the Hill game story. And at this point, you can just see Steven is just like, it's over.
Yeah.
He says he just wanted the dagger. Natalie said he sounded fake this morning about packing the bags.
Which he
And
did. And the dagger, the way he said, I just wanted the dagger, was like also giving defeated faithful.
yeah, agree. Um, he says that he has to add Natalie to his list now because he's a faithful and it's crazy for her to accuse him, basically. And she was like, that's fine, but like people accuse me all the time and I don't say they're a traitor. I was like, get his ass. So then Alan says, shut up and listen up. The dagger could be used tonight or tomorrow night. Does anyone want to use the dagger? And then to me, this was the wildest thing. Natalie says to Rob, say you have it because I'm the only one up for murder from the dagger group tonight. What did you make of that?
I was going to ask you that. I mean, I heard her say it. I didn't
Yeah, so she
understand.
kind of
Like, I
sells
still
him
don't get
out.
it.
And then he says, yes, I have it. And then, okay, this took me on a journey, but here's what I think happened.
Okay.
So I think it's like if there's a possibility that she has it, the traitors will murder her tonight, right? Because they want to eliminate the dagger. So by him saying that he has it helps to save her, is what I think the point is. And it's
Say it
not
again.
risky for him to say he has it tonight because he can't be murdered. And tomorrow night, he has to use it. So there's no point. They can't murder him the next night for having the dagger.
Oh, I think you're right. That's good.
So it still isn't great, I think, like for him, for people to know he has it. But theoretically, it's not super dangerous for him, for people to know.
Yeah, I agree with that. It is interesting though. Now that I'm thinking about it, and given how he's played, it's possible he wouldn't have played it at all. Next week, he might not have played it at all either if he didn't think he needed to.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think the smart play is to have it and not use it, like if you don't need it, right?
yeah, agreed. Although particularly in Rob's case, that would just add yet another mark against him. Until you're too comfortable at this game.
Yeah. But at least that's also an explanation of why he might feel more comfortable because he has it. So he could use it that way.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So now we go to the votes. Tara votes for Steven. Steven votes Johnny. Mara votes Johnny. Um, I wrote in my notes, I kind of think she's playing the best right now because she has no suspicion on her. And I think she's keeping signs close to her chest. Eric votes for Steven. Johnny votes for Steven. Kristen votes for Tara, which I initially wrote was throwing, but I changed my mind later. And I think this also helps validate my theory that Tara and Johnny coming out is going to split votes from off of Johnny onto her. Natalie votes
Yeah,
Steven. Rob says he was gonna vote for Johnny, but Natalie convinced him to vote Steven, which is like classic traitor behavior.
that is classic
Like
trader
blaming your
behavior.
vote, like saying, I voted you because they told me to, basically.
Yeah,
Not taking ownership. Mark voted for Tara because Johnny changed his mind. So Johnny is sure, like if the votes that went for Tara went to Johnny, it would have been a tie. So I think it was smart that they did that. Johnny could have went home.
yeah. No, you're right.
It just buys them one more night, but sometimes that's all you need.
That's true.
So Steven is voted out. I felt bad for him because I do feel like he was playing a good game up until this point, and then
Yeah.
he just got pinned down.
No, he as a faithful would have deserved to win, I think. But it was just like little things that added up. But it's just like so funny. The Lisa Gold thing is ultimately what got him. And I didn't think that was going to come up again, but it did. And I think that was the gold that sunk his chest.
Yeah. So he goes up, he gives his little speech, and he says, I am a faithful, and you blew it. And I was like, you get that.
I thought it was funny because, like, again, it's not a bad thing if you're faithful to get out other faithfuls. Like,
It just happens.
yes.
Yeah, I agree. So we get Rob armpit cam reaction.
I hope he's
And
like doing a good job with his deodorant.
well, yeah, we would have heard, I think, from some of those other cast members.
That's true.
Ron would have told him. I know
Yeah,
it.
I agree.
Everybody looks pissed. Like they don't even look shocked. They look mad that he wasn't a
Yeah.
traitor. So I think they were so sure. So then they all leave. Rob says in confessional that the Tara Johnny reveal is dumb because now everyone's going to think of them as liars and keeping secrets makes them look suspicious.
He made a
In the
real like
kitchen,
when they said it at the table, he really like smirked, like smiled or smirked. I wonder if anyone noticed that because it was like the
yeah, it
wheels
could
were
just
spinning in his head that
be.
this was good for him.
It could be
Or he could
editing
be
though.
like,
We don't know.
or he could also say, "I thought it was cute. I love when people are friends."
That's all he has to do is make sad puppy dog eyes, and he'll be fine.
Oh, we didn't even talk about him saying, "I'm nimble, like a cat." Meow.
I don't remember that. That must have
Oh,
been in your
he.
dreams.
Oh, I'll send you the clip. That literally happened. He was
Okay,
wearing his
can't
black
wait.
zip-up hoodie, looking delicious.
Okay, moving on from that. In the kitchen, Mark says everyone was on to Johnny, and then it swung to Steven. And Mara is like low key pressed, and she says, yeah, and why do you all allow that to keep happening? Because she famously voted for Johnny. She stayed on
Yes.
track.
Yes.
Kristen then says to Eric, why were you so quiet? and she really drags him, doing really excellent imitations of him, not answering direct questions, which I thought was really funny. And
Yeah, it
she
was funny.
says, at some point, you have to have your own opinion, which I liked, and that is what she did at the round table. She's like showing that she's not afraid to just not go with the group and be herself, which I think is like a sign of being a faithful.
Yeah,
So I feel like
I
that's a
agree.
good strategy at this point. Is maybe you do
No,
want to
totally.
stand out a little. Kristen immediately goes to Mark and says she doesn't trust him, and she tells Rob too that he has no opinion of anything. And she says, "If I murder tomorrow, just look at Eric."
And this is where we will see if Rob decides to do to Eric what he did to Candace and Lisa. Because I don't think it was his plan, but Eric is not playing well. And if Rob does do it to him, it is Eric's fault.
Yeah. Well, so we go to the turret, and Rob does immediately tell him, which shocked me. He tells Eric that Kristen doesn't trust him and says we could be in trouble.
Yeah.
But I think Eric is going to get daggered tomorrow at the round table.
It's feeling possible. We'll have to see what happens. Who do you think they're gonna murder?
So up for murder again is Natalie, Kristen, Tara, and Johnny. He says Tara would make no sense and everyone would blame it on Johnny, which I don't really agree with. They say
You
Natalie
could
trusts
convince
Rob.
people though, because given there was so much heat and suspicion on them and they're now best friends, you could just say like Johnny's actually a mastermind and he killed Tara because now like nobody would think he would do it and like it's just too obvious to me.
Yeah, but that's just like it's too obvious at this point. But
Well, I agree, and I
again,
don't think it is what they're going to choose.
yeah. This is where Eric says Natalie has to go tonight or tomorrow night because she's too smart. And then Kristen is on to Eric. So I really don't know who they choose because Mark was there to hear Kristen say that. So I feel like Eric
Yeah,
wouldn't want to do that.
yeah.
And
If Eric
Eric
is smart, he should
says,
not pick Kristen, and he needs to play better tomorrow.
yeah. He says, if we don't do Kristen, like, what does that look like? And Rob says, you have to convince her you're not a traitor. And Eric says, I can only do that if you convince Mark for me too. So I feel like Rob's like, yeah, I'll do that. And then he's just going to go to Mark and be like, it's Eric.
Yeah, it's not in Rob's best interest to do that.
It's, yeah, you don't want to be seen sticking up for a traitor because look what's happening to Johnny. So there's no way he
Yeah,
can do that. So I really don't know. I think you have to kill Natalie because I think again it goes back to who do you not want to see at that final fire? And there's no way
yeah.
Rob wants to see the last gamer there at the fire.
I just wonder if it would be suspicious if they kill Natalie because she made Rob say the dagger thing. I wonder if that would come back at him.
I don't know. But that
If
just feels
people are
like
smart, it would.
vindictive versus strategy, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I agree with that.
And they're like besties. So like I feel like there's more that's been going on with them that we haven't gotten to see. But I don't know. Because it's he's like, she really trusts me and we're really close. And I'm like, well, we haven't really seen any of that on the show.
Yeah, I agree. It's so interesting.
I do know I'm like really excited to see what happens next week. So
I know we're down to our final two episodes.
is it the finale or are they like doing 2 weeks?
I thought that there was two more weeks and two more episodes.
Oh, maybe because then the last week is finale reunion together, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. I'm like sad it's ending, although obviously we're running out of good people. So
Yeah.
It is making sense.
I think we're heading towards a really fun finale. I can't wait.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm excited to see what happens. There are ways this could turn out really interesting. There's also a chance it just turns out exactly like we think.
Yeah. I really hope. I would love for Rob to win, but I think I would love so much more for someone to get his ass at the end.
He's played such a good game. It would be really fun for someone to figure it out and turn it around on him. Like that would make for great TV.
Yeah.
I do want him to win. So I have a huge crush on him. I
Who
just
could have
love Robert
guessed?
Bausch.
Did you watch Love Island?
Yes,
Oh, I
but
didn't.
I didn't like him as much on Love Island. But his Love Island season was really intense. It was a good season, and there was a lot of hot guys. Like I follow multiple hot men from that season, including Kenzo, that guy with the crazy body I've sent you before.
What about? I hear he's on a second season.
Rob, I didn't. I don't think he may have come back for an episode, but I don't think he did a full like season.
Oh,
But on his season, he was like really young. I think he was like 23 or 24, and I don't know. I think it's just intense. But they throw all these hot women at you, and anyways, he did not come out of his season looking great, and I didn't. I thought he was good looking on the season, but I wasn't. Whatever. But then he kept popping up on my Twitter, and then I followed him on Instagram a couple of years ago, and he's just gotten hotter and hotter, and I think he's funny and cute. It's just he's on a glow up, and it's nice.
and some would say he's playing a good game.
Some would say. Will it end well? We'll see.
Well, thank you everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll be back next week with more Traitors content.
Bye.